MyCallCloud, we keep your calls clear. Support so smooth, your clients cheer. Smart tech powering your team all day. MyCallCloud, the cloud call away.
Welcome to the MyCallCloud Podcast, and today we have Shad Richards and Raymond Stover and Noah Seis, and we have all sorts of interesting things to talk about. AI, primarily.
AI, spam flagging. Twilio replacements.
Oh yeah, the Twilio replacement idea, the concept, the movement, the direction that we're going to move to.
Yeah, I'd say it's more than a concept. Because we can deliver, we can compete with that space.
Yes.
Right? We can manage calls. We have the railroad tracks into the communication paths that, and it's really funny. I was talking with someone just yesterday, and they were really upset that Twilio is charging them for the initialization, the request, and for the return information.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right. And we're charging for this one transaction, right?
It's funny. We go on site sometimes, and sometimes our pricing is a little lower than market pricing, and they're always like, what's the catch? And I was like, I'll charge you more. You want to pay me more? I'll take more. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shad's got a big smile on his face. Because, we provide services to SMB primarily, but we can to the enterprise. But when you reach an enterprise customer or somebody that needs something in the enterprise space, sometimes they're used to 5-figure invoices.
They're used to enterprise pricing.
Right. So when somebody gets a quote for $60,000 for a year of service for 7 phone numbers, and we come in at a much lower price, surprisingly low. I mean, it's pleasant for them, but they're also like, what's the catch?
Right.
We get all your data. No, that's not true.
People start to question the quality of the service, and then you start asking the question back to them, how is your quality of service right now? And they're like, it sucks. I was like, well.
Yeah. And sometimes I like to ask them.
You're paying enterprise for garbage. There you go.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to ask them, how much would you like to pay? I'll charge you whatever you'd like above and beyond what I'm offering you.
Yeah, what's fair to you?
And they just laugh and laugh and laugh, which is fun because, anyway.
Well, when you build a platform that becomes stable, then your problems become questions.
That's right.
When you change the environment from the first thing I got to do tomorrow morning, I got to go in and call my enterprise. They're going to charge me $150 an hour to talk to them. That's just to talk.
Right.
That's not even to
get resolution.
Not to get resolution.
Yeah.
And then that's what they do. And whether it's to talk for a problem or to talk for a question on how to do blah.
Or business strategy.
Whatever. And so when you build a platform that works and is stable, then you end up having your calls become questions instead of problems.
The inbound calls to your support staff is, I forgot how to, or what about this? It's not, we have a problem. It's, I have questions.
Can I do this?
Yeah. How can you help me achieve X, Y, Z?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, our platform is super powerful, and we are a nimble team. What were you going to say, Noah?
So anyway, the next sort of chapter that's unfolding we've got 2 big chapters that are unfolding for us. One is this number cleansing service that we're offering people, and it's working. Right, we're seeing answer rates go up. We're seeing sales go up. We're seeing real contact rates go up. And I'm going to say this, and nobody can hold me to it, but we're seeing about 1,000% increase in answer rate in a couple of cases. Not all, but in a couple cases, we're seeing an extremely, almost complete side of the mirror of performance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the cool thing about it is coming up with the strategy that becomes unique across other people's situations. And so maybe the strategy is manual calls. If you're going to spend the time calling someone, put in some effort, minimal effort,
Something.
right? I mean, it's and obviously it's all software driven, but don't waste your agent's time trying to call someone and get them to pick up when your number's spam. What are the odds that it's going to happen? Pretty slim.
This is the best thing I've heard Shad do in the last couple of days, and he'll get a phone call from a spam likely number, and he'll say, "Listen, you can provide me no value."
It's probably not the appropriate way to start a conversation, but you know what? You turn their guard down, and so from them trying to sell you something, you have to turn it, and so you set their guard down, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to try to sell this guy because he picked up."
Yeah. And then Shad says, transfer my number, take my number down and give it to your manager and have him call me.
Right.
And we can help you.
Yeah.
Because you see spam likely or scam likely
Correct.
on your caller ID. And that's why you use that approach.
Now, are they a customer that we would truly take at the end of the day? No, they're not. But you know,
you've had legitimate companies call you with the same problem. Right,
Sure.
Your bank, our bank, a bank, USAA.
Yeah, I mean, I had a bank call me with the number spammed.
How awful
It's
is
hard.
that?
Yeah.
A business relationship, or at least a consumer relationship with the bank.
I mean, I call it a professional relationship. You know, that's something that you need your call to go through to.
And
it was a manual dial.
Can you imagine how much commerce the bank is missing out on because they can't get a hold of prospects or customers to talk about new products and services they can offer, or an issue that you might have with your bank?
You know, one, will the consumer pick up? Two, if they do pick up, you know, and it says spam likely, scam likely, the chances if they do pick up, they're already going to have their guard up. They are not going to be trusting of that call.
Yeah.
And
Well, the first thing out of their mouth is going to be, put me on your do not call list.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of like, oh, you're actually calling from my bank for a survey.
A legitimate call.
For my teller transaction I made yesterday.
Or you
that's
saw-
actually what you're calling me for? Well, now I don't trust you because your number is coming through us. My first thought is I will not trust you.
There's so much fraud and scamming going on right now that people are hypersensitive when they get a phone call that says spam, scam likely. So if that's happening to you, if that's happening to your business, like, you got to find a solution provider like us that can help you.
Right.
And why not call us? Just call us. We'll help you with this process.
We already have we have the tool. It works. It's working. It's proven to be successful.
Yeah.
There's some tweaking with some customers that we're having to work on, but that's actually kind of the fun part. I mean, you sit there and kind of turn it on and let it go, or you kind of turn it on and you're like, oh, I could kind of tweak it a little bit. Now what's my result?
Match the patterns, watch and see what patterns show up. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, Shad, because I've had a great time listening to you pitch these people when they call you.
I mean, I've done it a couple times. Obviously, I did that one in front of you, but and that was just me trying to show off. But obviously, I've done it before, right? Because I knew what I was doing.
You did? Yeah. I could hear the script coming out of his mouth. Now, the funny thing is that nobody hangs on. The two times I've heard Shad do this, nobody's been like, yeah, sure, I'll get you they just hang up on him.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. So agents that might catch this podcast at some point, if you get spam, scam all day long, and people are telling you your number is showing up spam, scam, talk to your manager, have them call MyCallCloud. We'll get you on number cleansing. We'll talk you through that process, and then you go make more money, right? Because agents are everybody is getting affected by this. It's not just the business owners. It's not just the call center managers and people that are trying to hit sales metrics. It's the agents too.
Right.
It's everybody.
right.
And they're the ones that they're making the commission. This is their livelihood.
Right.
Like they're on board with anything that they can get. They can get a bump on their connect rates.
Everybody has goals.
You can't
Metrics.
tell me that these couple customers that we have that are ripping it right now, that their agents aren't giddy.
Yo.
You tell me that they're going to go home on a Friday and call their parents and say, you would not believe what just happened to me today.
Yeah.
Or it happened to me this week, or what's been happening to me for the last 3 weeks.
I've had the best sales day in the last 2 years, in the last 3 years, in the last 4 years, whatever. Right.
And it's been a customer that's been steady. Like they have some good days and they have some bad days. Like everybody else, you have to have some bad days. Remember your good days. But they have been steady. And as soon as we plugged this in, it was immediate. It was immediate that day. It was substantial.
Yes. Highly noticeable.
And we've all been nervous about even telling people. Obviously, Noah didn't bring that up on how, and even Raymond, obviously, but I mean, we haven't really talked about it. Like, we don't want to sit here and throw out numbers, because what's going to happen? Are people going to believe us? And then you're like, well, okay, so it's not like sitting around drinking a beer with your buddies and you're telling them a story and you exaggerate it a little bit. Yeah, and you embellish, and then this is like, you kind of ho-hum it under the table, and you're like, it was decent. It was a decent uptick. Yeah. And then you're like, well,
that's why
is a half a sale, an average of a half a sale a day, or what was that? Half a sale an hour, 0.5 sales per hour, to a 17.
And we can't tell people that.
Yeah, and we can't
because nobody's going to believe it.
No one's going to believe it.
Yeah.
And then you have it the next day.
And the day after.
And the day after.
And all of a sudden it's your new pattern.
And then it's then it becomes unique. Like, you're not sitting there switching out numbers. You think about the headache. You're calling up support. I've got a problem with the spam number. Now, is this perfect?
Yeah.
No. Well, each of us will attest to saying that this isn't perfect, but to sit here and say that there isn't a bump, it wouldn't be the right thing for us to say.
Right.
To say that it isn't exciting, and it wouldn't be exciting for anybody. And all you have to do is be a legitimate company. Like, that's all it asks for. But I think at the end of the day, we all sit here and complain. Anyone who's listening to this, the three of us, at the end of the day, complain about how this is ripped up and torn apart the telecom industry and the sales industry. Maybe it's kind of what it needed. I mean, the intention is to weed out the bad guys, and no one can really figure out how to do it.
Right.
This is another attempt. Is it working? Maybe. But you got to pay to play. I mean, that's at the end of the day. If you want to survive, you're gonna have to pay. Obviously, we want your business. It's working for us.
But listen, here's the thing. Right? And people are going to want to know this. When we start looking at these numbers for our customers that are using number cleansing now, and we tell them it's 1,000% increase, you have to be really careful. Like you were saying, you have to be careful about how you present this information. Can you imagine being the sales manager and then approaching your management team at the end of the week or the end of the month, and you're like, well, we did a little better.
I know.
It was 1,000% better. Nobody at the management level is going to even believe it.
Right.
They're going to be like, run the numbers again. Clearly you have something wrong.
Someone put in an extra zero when they shouldn't have.
Right. You mean 100% better, right?
Or 10% better.
10. Is that what you meant? 10% better? And when they say no, it's 1,000% better, they're like, well, somebody ran the report wrong.
They don't believe you.
They don't believe you.
And the owner of the business isn't going to turn around and talk to their managers and say, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Which is what we're sitting here trying to tread a line of they don't believe us. And so do you sit here and fudge your numbers?
Stop bringing us these BS reports that we can't trust, right? Blah, blah, blah. These aren't accurate.
Well, these are the reports that you can go run.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing is
Every day.
running before and after.
Yeah, we're just looking at days where you had number cleansing on and when you didn't have it on, and they are clearly different, highly different.
And obviously, our reports are our reports. I mean, it's how an agent is going to set the call.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that an owner or a manager or whoever it is isn't going to sit there and look at their credit card, look at their how many credit cards they ran, what was the amount of revenue that we received last week.
Their point of sale stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to sit and what's our check intake this week, and you're like, did someone in processing put something in wrong?
Yeah,
here?
exactly. There's another zero here that we're not expecting.
The bank screwed up. All right, we can't spend this money right now. We got to let it sit in the bank because the bank screwed up, and they're gonna have to rebalance their books.
It's one thing when you see the metrics of the contact center go up, right? And we can all look at those numbers, and we all have visibility to that. We can help our customers look at that information. But then the next step is when the accounting people inside that organization are like, there's more sales by 1,000%. Nobody's going to believe that, right? So you got to settle into these new patterns and these new metrics, and you got to take it slow. Don't get super excited, and just make sure you measure, right, as the numbers go up and the contact rates go up, and then of course ultimately the sales go up. Right?
Yeah.
Raymond, what have you been hearing?
Well, I was just going to say the proof of the pudding is after a couple of weeks of seeing the performance.
Yeah.
Then, we have these business owners, directing their staff to contact us, double down. Let's, get 500 more numbers.
Yeah.
Let's get these numbers cleansed, and let's keep going with the trend.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, and it's even just starting off small. Grab your first batch. If you're running 1,000 phone numbers, if you're running 2,000 phone numbers, run a batch of 100, and that's what we're actually starting to do with some of these people that are maybe hesitant. They're not sure how they want to, what kind of strategy they want to run with it.
Where do we do it? Put it all over. Order them all. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, well. I mean, we're pushing people away from going all in. Like, don't throw all of your cards in right now.
Yeah. Measure.
Or throw all of your money on the table.
Right.
Take some, use it, put it on a project, measure your results very easily. It's very easy to see your results. And then branch it off, go to the next and go to the next.
Yeah.
Obviously we can turn them on real quick. It does take a week or two to get them through the system, but
right. But like
it's not overnight, but you don't jump in.
Like you're in Vegas and you're playing roulette. You don't want to put all of your chips on red 23, right?
Right.
Spread it out a little bit. Take your time. Play the game.
Right.
Play the game. Make a little money. Measure the performance. Then you know where to put your bets, right? How many numbers do we need? Where do we need them? What campaigns do we need them on? What projects do we need them on?
Right.
How do we track it? Don't abandon the other things too. SMS, email, right? All these other marketing channels are very important. Podcasts, right? Doing these shorts, getting reels, getting content out, right? All these things are important to get yourself into the marketplace, right? Not just a phone call. Now, of course, that's what we do is we specialize in making sure that people can make their phone calls and the clear audio and all the workflow processes that we've built over the last 15 years and all the new changes that we're dealing with that people want now, right? We just built this light agent lab prototype that allows people to log in from their cell phone anywhere in the world, potentially,
right,
and connect to their call center system, make a call, take a call, disposition a call, right? All those types of things. So there's all of these things.
Simplifying the steps and the integrations.
All these fun things that are coming.
Mm.
Are we ready to talk about agentic AI workflow?
It's, I was going to say, I thought you were just rolling right into it.
Are we ready to talk about it? I don't know if we are.
Sure we are. Just like so many other people, right? We're looking at it. We're looking at what are the use cases. Does it make sense?
Right.
can we do it? Do we have to, hire somebody else to help us with that? And it's, it's ever present in society, and all the business owners are thinking about it and talking with their upper echelon staff, helping make good decisions. And it feels to me like, we've been talking about it. We've been, working with it a little bit as a tool. But, I think that we are reaching the critical mass where it's time for us to start, using these agentic tools to help us, to help ourselves, right? With monitoring our network, monitoring the health of the telco communications, and then rolling it out to our client base and give them these tools so that they can use the agentic, analysis and help them to make better decisions, time of day,
right?
Lead list management, calling, pacing, and
here's the challenge for us, right? And we've talked about this off air, but where do you start? The use cases are your imagination at this point, but where do you start? Where's the most impact going to be?
Well, what any business owner is sitting out there trying to comprehend in their own mind is, what's my ROI?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, what do I get or what do I save?
Yeah.
What everybody likes to sit there, what's my value?
Right.
What's the value at the end of the day? And it's been tough, obviously, with the whole move to AI and this big push, is that there's been a lot of people that have started in it. There's been a lot of people that are coming out with their tool. And I think, for so many of these call center organizations, that they think in their mind, I need an agent.
AI. I need AI.
I need agent AI. And so they're in their mind, all right, so if I can, a customer service organization or a sales even, and if I can employ or, introduce 2 AI agents, what does that save me?
Yeah.
From my staffing? What can they provide? What will it do for me? Obviously, that's the question that you're going to ask. What's your cost? What's your return?
Or what's it going to make me?
Right.
So not only, because we're starting to hear a shift, right? First of is, how much is it going to save me? There's still going to be some breakage there. But in some cases, it's outperforming the human beings. Uh-oh. Now what?
Right. Well, I think there's a lot of people that jumped on board with this agent. Let me replace the customer service, the human that's actually going to be sitting there on the phone, to what's the next thing.
Right.
Are we going to sit here and build another agent? No, of course not. It'd be stupid of us, right? There's already
great.
We've integrated with 5 of them.
Yeah,
at least 5, right?
Well, we've had
4,
them on the
5,
podcast
6.
here. We've
right.
had these experts show up here and talk to us about their platforms and their tools and their successes and their challenges.
So why would we rebuild that?
Yeah,
We're not going to do that. We're not going to put the effort into it. We'll just integrate with them. Ideally, we replace their
telecom stack.
Yeah, their telecom stack, or become their API integrator.
Yeah.
But to what's the next thing? All right, everybody else is doing this. Boring. All right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Human agent. But
yeah.
So then what's the next thing? What's the next thing that call center people not necessarily employ staff to do, but what do people do on a daily basis, on an hourly basis that is consuming time that could be automated,
right.
that could be automated, that could be scheduled, whatever it is, make it real time, making adjustments. And so, to sit there and come up with kind of the next thing that I'm not sure that any of us have even talked about or heard about. I haven't anyway. Not like I'm out spending time researching it, but maybe you guys have, maybe you haven't.
Yeah, well, for
But
years, I've heard Noah say, and I've said this from the sales desk, if the call center management operations folks identify a process or a procedure that they are doing repetitively, day after day, week after week, or month after month, talk to us. Let's automate it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's been pretty much simple reports.
Right.
But I think that we're crossing this threshold, right? So we just need to have these conversations. We keep having these conversations. Where are your pain points? Where could you help uncover ROI, right? And that's why I had mentioned earlier, like, list analysis, time of day calling, right? There's nuggets of information in the calling data, but how does it get lifted up?
Yeah. And now it's just questions, right? Now it's just humans asking questions of that data. So what is the best time to call from this array of data, right? And you just load a log file into ChatGPT or whatever at this point, because I would consider maybe 8 or 9 valid LLMs with reasoning and logic that are really functioning well, right? And then you just ask the questions. Here's my data set. And then maybe you don't ask anything, right? Maybe you just load the data and say,
sometimes do that.
Analyze the data and tell me the 3 top questions you would have me ask you of this data, and just let it analyze all of the things that it can do. Reason. Well, I look at this data stack. Oh, let's look at, it's calling patterns. Oh, look, your calling pattern between 2 and 3 p.m. provides you the most successes. Did you know that? No, I didn't. Thank you for letting me know. Lunchtime, it's not a good time to call people. Did you know that? I see your success rate is really low from 12 to 1.
Right.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, and then you evolve it from something that can, I always love in my consulting days, I would throw out the term of turn yourself into a profit center when you're a cost center. So how do you put a dialer manager? Dialer manager typically is a cost center, right? They're not the ones on the phone making the sales.
Not making the calls.
So how do you make yourself a revenue center and not just a cost center? How can you evolve your position into doing that?
Right.
And so you sit there and you think of this person or this individual or this process that maybe multiple people do, because you have multiple people in different departments that are looking at different people within the call center, and you turn this normal tedious process into something that is going to turn around and make you money
or save
money. What can you do?
Right. The best time to call, number of times to call somebody before you're not getting law of diminishing returns, right? There's no value to call somebody after, for example, call number 7 or whatever it is, right? There's no, the returns after call number 7, just an example, I'm not stating anything specific, but let's just say that's the example. Up to call 7, you hit 80% of your revenue, right? And then after that, it trickles in very slowly on call 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that captures maybe 20% of your revenue. That 80-20 rule, people are pretty commonly familiar with, and you combine it with the law of diminishing returns. Once you get to that 80% point, there might be a point in there that you're losing money, right? That your efforts on call 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are actually costing you something. Save that money, go buy a new lead, right? Make sure that high contact rate with the number cleansing is now capturing in that first 80%. Maybe that's now 4 calls to get to that 80% of revenue value. And then now you can save a whole bunch of money not making additional phone calls and time and human labor. Go buy better leads. Now 2 calls, you're hitting 80% revenue. Just an example of what you could do to scale a process that is efficient, that you're making a cost center or a profit center versus a cost center, right?
Right.
You're saving money and producing revenue, more revenue, right? So AI Dialer Manager, that's on deck for us, I think. It's not out yet, Probably won't be out for a month or two, but I think this is something we'll maybe start offering people, and not just our customers. Our customers first, of course, right? Because this will be the easiest thing. But I think ultimately we can probably offer this to the market. I think we have enough capacity from our learned experiences across the last 70 or 80 years that we've all got combined here, maybe almost 100 years. That seems silly to say.
Last calculation was what, 75, 80 years combined experience?
We got 5 of us with 20 plus years of experience in the call center space alone.
Right.
And that's just you, me, Shad, and Matt. And then Paulo is
Hello.
just a couple years behind that. Right.
Yeah. Tech support and development on top of it. Yep.
So I think we might be able to offer this to the market. So that means, much more efficiency, quicker changes, much more granular analysis on how the center is doing in a particular moment of the day. In fact, we should probably call Jason, Shad's Gamer, and say, I think this is what we need to offer to your customer base as well. Don't you think that would be an interesting idea for him? Plug that into his offering, AI Dialer Manager? Because now the race car driver that you're putting all this money and energy into is going to give you the highest efficiency race possible. Starting at 9 a.m., stopping right on time, turning on and off time zones or lists depending on where you're calling that time of day. All these things, right? Anyway, so that's a new chapter for us. That's coming very soon. These workflows are blowing my mind. I had no idea.
The power that is at our fingertips.
And we've been talking about it for months. And now we're finally really starting to see. I mean,
Exciting
you
times.
have tons of conversations about AI and what's coming down the pipeline with prospects and customers, Raymond. Like, what's your perspective on what do you think we're going to do with this thing?
It's only going to continue. We're going to see increased AI agent adoption. We're going to keep the best agents in the call center, right? Sort of weed out the low performers and the ones that can't answer those, more difficult questions and, have difficulty with empathy and turning calls around. And so that you keep the best of your staff. And as Matthew had said when he was in here a couple weeks ago, those AI agents are outperforming the frontline agents. So, right, those frontline agents will start being replaced more and more. And as the, next coming years come along, it's going to be a continuation of that. And so then, these tools that are at our fingertips, they're going to have increased adoption, right? All the call centers are asking about AI. What are the tools that we have? What can we use?
Yeah.
And so, I think that you had touched on it earlier too. There's a bit of concern. If I was a business owner, do I want to let my folks run wild with these AI tools? Because they're, if there's not good boundaries and good
rails, you got to set up your prompting's got to be correct. I mean, it's not just like go. Right, you have to put some effort into it, some thought process.
That's right. Identify your use case, be focused, document it well, and then test it, right? Put it into production in a limited A/B testing fashion and vet it out and refine it. And that's what Matthew was saying, right? And, a lot of the time was spent in QA and refinement.
Trial and error.
Still ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
And
turning a lever, making an adjustment.
yeah, I think so many times people want to go to, Chat GPT or the LLM du jour, ask the question, get the answer, and then run with it. Well, wait a minute. We still need, timeout. We still need critical thinking. We still need analysis. We still need to make decisions based on, is this valid information? Am I making a good decision, based on this data?
Right.
Sometimes these AI engines are, just sort of trying to fulfill the request. And if you're not making a good request within the lane, within the use case, you could be making bad decisions. So you have to be intelligent about the return feedback and how you're managing these tools.
And during conversations over the last couple of weeks too, I've heard business owners say, if you're not going to embrace AI, you're going to get replaced. You're going to get removed. You have to figure out how to use this thing that we're about to unleash on the public, which is getting unleashed right now. Figure out how to use it, embrace it, how are you going to either participate and contribute to the business that you're involved with and how AI can be utilized in that business, or you're going to end up getting replaced by AI.
Or someone that's running the AI.
Or somebody that's familiar with it. Or somebody that knows the LLM of the day, the de jour of LLMs. That was a fun phrase you came up with, actually. What was the soup of the day? What's the LLM of the day? What's your special today? Oh, Gemini is your special today? Because they all change too, right? ChatGPT is getting better. Gemini's getting better. Claude is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The DoD is trying to buy Claude or force them to do a contract. Unbelievable. Like all this stuff, right? You just got to pay attention. Get involved in some way, shape, or form. Don't just say AI is a scam. You know, because that is not true, right? It is here. It's not going anywhere. We're not shutting it down.
Yeah, well, it's another revolution, right? We had the Industrial Revolution. It took a long time to roll out.
Yeah.
And initially, you know, people were resistant against it. You know, I want to keep my kids on the farm. Well, your kids don't want to stay on the farm. They want to go in the cities and make money. And,
Right.
you know, but that was a long process. And, you know, more relevant to our lifetime, the internet. Right, and the smartphones, and so many grandparents like, oh, I don't want to use it. I don't want to use the internet. But with time, you know, there's adoption, and you know, it's funny, right? The grandkids say, oh, well, Grandma, I want to see you on FaceTime, or I want to, you know, meet with you online.
Yeah.
And so then all these people that had been resistant, you know, they open up to it because it's become easy, it's become ubiquitous, and you know, people within their family encourage them to use it.
Right.
And, you know, I think that we're going to see a little bit of this here, too, with AI. It's moving so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like the dot-com bubble, bust, or whatever we want to call it, you know, early 2000s, late 90s. That was quick, too, right? So all these dot-coms, and everybody needed a dot-com, everybody needed a domain, they all needed a website, right, to sell e-commerce or whatever they were providing, services or goods. And then there was an implosion, and then a consolidation of the dot-coms, right? We'll just call them. And now we're at this same point, I think, probably at the beginning process of this AI boom, and then a consolidation that's probably going to happen after that. I think there's going to be several that emerge, like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, you know, the ones that are, Apple's going to come out with one here, their own flavor and version. So who knows if that's going to be past the beta testing, what maybe air quotes, we're in beta testing from a cultural perspective at this point, and then Apple's going to come out with maybe something much better that replaces Siri. Who knows, right?
Everyone's looking forward to that.
Listen, when the Golden Globes when you have the host of the Golden Globes criticizing Siri because it's so bad right now, what are they going to do? Keep putting money into Siri, or are they going to put money into something new? Right? I feel like they're skipping. Like they're air gapping Siri to the next flavor of whatever that's coming out.
Are they going to be building their own AI LLM to power Siri? I thought they were going to use partner up with another LLM provider to power Siri.
What are they doing? I don't know. Yeah. I had heard that they were going to build their own.
Well,
but
certainly,
I could be wrong.
Certainly, Apple is on the forefront now with their architecture, with the memory management, and you know, you look at the use of the OpenClaw, and you know, the Mac Mini has been flying off the shelves. You know, because that architecture is so good for using it as a local solution.
So here's a breakdown of Apple's AI developments. Apple Intelligence. This is the what is it we saying here?
Yeah, please.
Let me get it on the screen so everybody can see what I'm talking about. All right, Apple is involved in AI. The company is accelerating its efforts through a strategy focused on-device, privacy-focused generative AI called Apple Intelligence. So they are, right? They are building their own.
I mean, everybody has to. I think.
It seems like everybody is going to be building something one way, shape, or form. Shad's camera went off because it's not plugged in. So, sorry, buddy. So it'll be interesting to see how Apple rolls that out. I mean, I'm super interested to see what they're going to do with that, right? What do you think, Ray?
Mm-hmm. they've been an innovative leader for many years, right? And so what's the future going to bring? It's moving so fast. And if the team at Apple isn't focused on making this happen, they're going to be left behind. And so absolutely, they are looking into it, I'm sure. But, I haven't heard a whole lot of the news in that respect. So I think it'll be interesting to watch. I thought that they were going to be partnering up with one of the larger LLM providers.
Yeah, but who was that going to be? Have you heard?
I have not heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard either. Well, I mean, it's good to be aware that Apple's coming out with Apple Intelligence. We're going to just have to track what they do with that. And of course, the end user device is obviously Siri right now. That's the thing that they're using. Are they going to just swap that back end out? Or are they going to offer something new? Is Siri going to change? Is that name going to change to Apple AI? The funny thing is about Apple Intelligence, of course, it initializes out as AI. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have the Alexas, the Amazon.
Yeah, the personal assistants.
Yeah. Have you upgraded to the new Alexa?
I have not. I've not tried it.
No, me neither.
Yeah. So you can sit there and have conversations with it.
Have you guys, did you buy one?
Yeah.
Is that panel one that just sits on the counter or what?
No, I don't. All of our devices went on.
Oh, they all upgraded?
Yeah.
What?
No, I don't know if we're paying for it.
Oh,
We
of
might
course.
be.
Is there a price tag behind
Yeah.
there somewhere?
There might be. They're pretty good at saying, do you want to sign up for this? And then you hear someone in the background yell no, and then you hear, okay, you're signed up.
Thank you.
That's what Amazon is.
Yeah, your 30-day trial has
made
begun.
their billions off of. But yeah, you can sit there and just have a back and forth conversation with it.
And how is it?
I don't. I hear Adam. Adam, unfortunately, spends too much time sitting there having a conversation. And his big thing is right now he's building in Roblox, or not Roblox, in Minecraft. He's building up NFL stadium. Mm-hmm. And so he's been super curious on NFL stadiums. And so he'll sit there and ask, so what's the newest NFL stadium? And then they'll respond back, and then he'll say, well, how many seats does it hold? And not just sitting there saying Alexa every single time, right?
Yeah.
Then they respond back. But I think what's disappointing, at that same, in the same sentence to, just make it a run on is that it is literally listening to everything that we're saying now in our kitchen. Like we're like, what are we having for dinner? Liz and I are sitting there talking, and then all of a sudden Alexa jumps in and is like, well, this is a popular recipe, blah, 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 blah.
Without a prompt word?
Well, no prompt at all. Yeah.
No, you can turn that off, though. I mean, you can turn on the prompt word again, right? Only talk to us when we prompt you.
Well, most of the time we're prompting.
Yeah.
But then, there's moments that it'll just chirp, just chime in.
Oh, yeah. I remember one of the kids was doing a project on baseball, and we were talking about something or another, and then Alexa just chimed in about Jackie Robinson in baseball and the history of baseball, and we didn't even prompt. And this was 5, 6, 7 years ago.
You're right.
6, 7.
I mean, obviously it has to listen, right? It's listening for the prompt.
Right. But unprompted, sometimes it just chirps in.
Right. Right.
That's fun. Not fun.
Maybe whatever you said sounded close enough to Alexa.
Privacy concerns, for sure. That's always going to be moving forward. I think everywhere we go, guys, now it's our cars, our phones, every freaking place we go is listening. Something is listening to you, recording you, capturing on video, capturing video around you.
I think the worst is Facebook. Like they are bad,
or the best, or the best at it.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I mean, we were sitting around talking about automated sprinkler systems 5 years ago. Most of us had our cell phones sitting out, next to our, in our lounge chairs as we're drinking a beer.
Here comes the
and
ad.
I had mine sitting in my pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't use Facebook anyway, so it doesn't know what to market to me, because I never look at it. But Liz has started getting advertisements for automated
Sprinkler control.
sprinkler controls.
I mean,
and she wasn't even the one in the conversation.
yeah. And this
It
was
was
a
me and
while
another
ago.
guy.
This was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. How many years ago was this?
Oh no, this was probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, I suppose.
Now they're listening and they just don't tell you or market to you that immediate day. They wait.
It's not as obvious.
They
now.
wait 7 hours and then you get an ad. Oh,
Right.
look, weren't we just talking about this yesterday? This cruise or this automated sprinkler or this whatever.
Vacation.
And we'll see it on more channels. It won't just be Facebook.
Yeah. And then they'll remarket to you on LinkedIn,
Right.
right? You go, you need a vacation. You
X
work
and
hard.
Instagram, yeah.
I can just see the pitch right now. Some banner ad on the side. Save 20% on Royal Caribbean
Right.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because that's coming. They don't do it now, but it's, they're trying to stay more business focused. But LinkedIn, they'll take the dollars wherever they can get them, right?
Well, I'm sure if you scroll through their feed long enough, you'll find something in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or they do it indirect with CEO blah, blah, blah said this,
Get number
In order to keep your mental stability, go on a cruise, and then all of a sudden you're like,
yeah.
well, CEO blah, blah, blah said I should go on a cruise. That's fake.
Expert
That's,
power. Yeah.
that.
The AI expert,
Yeah.
Chat GPT or Gemini said, I need to go on a cruise. That's coming. That is absolutely coming.
And then the
Shad,
influencer
you've been working really
videos
hard.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the ad, and then the discount, and then the
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. The buy incentive and then the expert opinion. Shad, you've been working really hard lately. Have you taken a break?
Yeah.
Have you gone on a vacation? No, I haven't. Alexa's just going to talk you right into that,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Because how are you going to compete? How is the human psyche going to compete against a sentient AI that knows every tool in the book on how to manipulate your thought process for purchasing?
And
Sure.
it never gets tired, and it never sleeps.
How many times is it going to bring it up? 7 times? And then it realizes, okay, Shad's not going on a cruise. Or he is. I got him on the 7th conversation.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is where contact management's going, right?
Sure.
It's not going to be through the call center. It's going to be through your Alexa at home.
Yeah, well, it's not just Alexa, right? I mean, because there's a big trend, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to start, my digital assistant, right?
Right.
Is also my best friend, is also my psychologist, is also my tech advisor, is also my educational assistant and guide, right? And then it all becomes sort of ubiquitous that this is my resource, my personal Siri. And, is that going to be on my phone because I'm an Apple user, or is it going to be on my personal robot because it's now going with me everywhere I go?
You going to take that robot on vacation with you, Shad? Or is it going to stay home, or she, or it, and just clean and maintain the house?
I love listening to you guys and your robots.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you to get them.
What's it going to do?
You're not going to get one in your house?
What's George going to do with the robot?
I don't know.
Is George going to snuggle up?
He has an iRobot right now that's entertaining enough.
Have you seen this video? First of all, on Instagram, there's a couple Roombas or an iRobot cleaning the floor, and whoever the owner was created 2 little cardboard tanks, and there's 2 cats sitting on one in each Roomba, one on each.
They're chasing each other around on the robot.
With not chasing each other necessarily, but these little tanks, like little cardboard tubes sticking out. And these little tanks are aiming at each other, and it's hilarious. These cats just sit on this thing. They don't even move. They love it.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's entertaining.
You need to build a little tank for your iRobot,
I know.
right? Get George in there.
iRobot. What's not the Roomba? What do they call it? What's the new one then? My sister gave it to me.
Yeah. Is it the Roomba or I don't know what it is.
Whatever.
There's a
the,
bunch
The
of
floor
these out there.
cleaner is pretty entertaining.
It is absolutely entertaining,
Yeah.
especially with cats.
Yeah. I know.
Right? Oh, man.
Well, it's a good way to get into the homes of Americans and into the rest of the world. And, you know,
That robot's going to keep George company.
Yeah.
You know? Are you going to have to take your dog to a boarding kennel anymore, or is the robot going to be enough?
that's a great question.
You're asking the wrong person.
The robot takes his dog
My cat
for a
loves
walk,
his
or-
time away. When the humans are gone, he's happy as a clam.
This is a question for everybody. Is the robot going to be enough for your pets to not have to freak out or have anxiety that you're gone?
They have company.
They have got company. Maybe even your robot's going to have a warming blanket,
A soft lap to
George.
sit on.
right? And the robot's going to grab it and set it down and just wait for George to show up, because George knows it's 3:00 and my robot's got my warming blanket ready for me, sitting in the sun, right? Whatever. They're gonna
You guys are working so hard to sell me on that.
they're gonna build these
On a
patterns.
robot.
These robots are gonna build patterns
This is
that are
so interesting.
related to activity around them.
Yeah, you're so excited.
I'm not excited about it, but this is what's
I can clearly tell you're excited.
yeah. I mean,
You are.
I'm excited about it. I guess.
Raymond's excited too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I grew up reading science fiction books as a young kid, you know, as a teenager.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to see so much of, you know, what I was reading about, you know, the Isaac Asimov and Robert Heinlein and Larry Niven. And, you know, now these, you know, the technology is right here, right? We're
Yeah.
seeing it in our lifetime that, you know, and we're talking about some audacious technological accomplishments that have already been accomplished and that in the near future too, right?
Yeah.
You know, the futurologists are telling us that if we can stay alive for the next 3 to 5 years, a lot of the major illnesses are going to be solved.
From AI. This is oh my God, your camera went off again. This is where the statement
Start with the first one.
life imitates art, right?
Life imitates art. Well, you know, yeah. So, you know, there's certain forms and factors in nature that we as humans have naturally followed that model, right? Oh, a sphere or an octagon or a box, right?
I think it becomes exciting when the first one happens, and you can repeat that. Like, to sit here and think that it's going to, we're all going to be 100% healthy in 5 years. How about you figure out how to remove pimples? How do you stop pimples?
Right. Yeah. So, you know, people
And
want,
without changing your diet. No lifestyle change. Like, just fix it right now. You get that first one. And we have something, right? I mean, it's fun to sit around and like, we're gonna live to 150 because in 3 to 5 years we're all gonna be 100% healthy. We're gonna be a perfect human, right? When's the first one? What's gonna be the first one? Or has the first one already been out there? What is the first one?
You mean that's hit 150 years old?
No, the first. What's
assuming.
the first thing that AI has done to the first cancer it's cured?
Oh, what's the time frame on that?
Yeah. No, I don't. What's happened? What is the thing? The one thing right now that it has?
Oh, what has AI cured so far?
Yeah.
Let's ask. That's a great question. I mean, worthy of inspection.
Yeah, while you go look that up, Noah, I know that, like, we heard about in the news several years ago, the CRISPR gene splicing tool, right? That technology that was built that we could, get down to the level of being able to splice the human genome. Well, that tool was a fundamental breakthrough, but it's still kind of sloppy. You don't want to be using CRISPR, the traditional CRISPR to go and edit your genes because it's still a little sloppy at the connection points. And AI is improving that to the point where we're getting close. We're going to be able to do gene editing without causing other damage within that gene.
Okay.
What do we got,
Shad?
Noah?
So what's the first one?
Sorry about that. Let me get this on screen.
I mean,
Come on, camera.
I should rephrase that. Like, what's been the major breakthrough?
The AI system named MySyn and developed at Stanford University used a rule-based approach to identify bacteria causing severe infections, such as bacteremia, whatever that is, meningitis, and recommended appropriate antibiotic treatments. The problem, here are the key details regarding the early milestone. The problem, bacterial infections, especially sepsis and blood-borne infections, were and still are critical, fast-acting, and often fatal. Choosing the correct antibiotic is crucial.
Is bad.
Oh, yeah. The AI approach, MySyn, was an expert system that used backward chaining. This was old, by the way, 1972, 1976. So this has been around for a while. It's solving whatever to identify a proper treatment protocols. This is old.
Yeah, I was just using that as an example of a...
AI's been around for a while.
It has.
Yeah.
Let's see what the most recent. What is the most recent?
Because obviously meningitis is still active in society. People are still dying from meningitis.
Okay. Based on, oh my gosh, what is going on here?
You're offline now.
Is my camera offline? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you want to read it?
I'll let you. Or Raymond.
Based on recent breakthroughs reported in late 2025, early 2026.
Yeah. Well, you're not on your mic. Yeah.
One of the most significant and recent health issues that AI has solved, or at least it's substantially advanced, is the acceleration of rare disease diagnosis and the identification of treatments for previously untreatable conditions. That's what I was speaking about with the advances on the CRISPR and the genome splicing, because some people have rare genetic diseases that would, with commonly available medical technology, there's no easy way to solve it. But if you can edit a gene to remove that specific problem. And so what else is this saying here? Rapid genetic diagnosis, targeted cancer therapy. December of 2025, researchers used AI to design APT1, a molecule that enhances chemotherapy effectiveness against pancreatic cancers and disrupting tumor cell survival mechanisms.
And pancreatic cancer is that's a death sentence.
Well,
it's like 90%.
Probably, yeah.
That's fatal.
I have a friend that passed away from pancreatic
I have.
cancer.
friend's
Everybody
mom.
knows someone.
Yeah.
Probably.
She had 3 months. That's all she got.
Right.
Quick.
It's fast.
It's fast. It takes you.
Yeah.
But
Has it? Who has it? So these seem general.
these are general.
what's- so
this
what's-
is an AI
what's-
response.
Oh, of course it is.
Do you want?
yeah.
Do you want more specific?
Yeah,
information?
so we have an example here. So who has that? Which human right now has had this tested on that's been successful and is still alive to tell the story?
Let's be done.
Yeah.
Let's be done. Wrap it up, Raymond.
All right. So you put me on the spot there. So appreciate your time, gentlemen. We will have to resume this conversation at a later time.